We made it here to the neighborhood of Otto Anderson, where about 80% of the movie happens. This neighborhood looks incredible. It's like a Hollywood backlot. And check out this shirt I got. Got Tom Hanks. Let's go check it out. In today's video, this is the opening scene for the film A Man Called Otto. And I'm excited because I thought for sure this was a made-up place, but it's actually a real place. So let's get this filming location video started here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And right when you walk into the front door, you could already start seeing those busy Beaver signs that are in the movie. And then over here, here's the iconic register scene where Otto is arguing about paying for 6 feet of rope when he only wants 5 feet of rope. And if you look behind Tom Hanks in the movie, you can see that red bargain bin on the floor that's still there today. And that white banner on the side of the register, that's still there now too. And that's here at the Busy Beaver here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right, moving on. We finally made it to the main event of this filming location video. The neighborhood of Otto Anderson. This place is just screaming Americana. Now the movie A Man Called Otto, directed by Mark Forrester, is based on the Swedish book and movie A Man Called Ove, and it stars Mariana Trevino, who plays the new neighbor Marisol, and a very grumpy Tom Hanks, who plays Otto Anderson, a widower who's forced to take early retirement. Otto is known in the neighborhood for being grumpy and bitter. He's a stickler for the rules, such as leaving the gate open and making sure that parking permits are hanging on their rear view mirrors. He runs a very tight ship in this very unique housing development made up of all green townhouses. And here we are at 207 Gilead Avenue. It's 207 in real life and in the movie. And this is the home of Otto Anderson, where we get a glimpse of his darker side, where he no longer sees purpose in his life following the loss of his wife Sonia. He even goes as far as turning all the utilities off since he won't be needing them anymore. And that all happened right here in his unique townhouse at 207 Gilead Avenue. And right across the street here is where the new neighbors show up. And Tommy's trying to parallel park the U-Haul and is doing a terrible job. He's about to crash into the townhouse. And that all happened right here. And Otto comes out and says, "What the hell is he doing?" And Tommy says, "I'm trying to parallel park." Parallel to what? Those 2 windows and the door, the glass block in the front all line up perfectly. And that all happened right here. Here at House 206 in this incredible neighborhood of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Try to line up some pictures I printed off here. There's the picture from the movie, and there's the shot. That gate's not there anymore. That's probably just set dressing, and Tom Hanks was standing right over here. These 3 houses in the back match up perfectly. Our next shot is Otto, played by Tom Hanks, standing in front of 207 here. And that's right about at this angle. You can see this house in a shot, and the garages, the sidewalk, the windows all line up. Here at 207 was Otto Anderson's house. Here's our final screen grab here, where Otto Anderson would go and put all the litter in the correct bins, put the bikes back in the bike rack, and that happened right over here. That sign is in the movie. And the thing I found interesting is Otto Anderson's garage was over here. And as you can see in real life, there are no garages. So Hollywood came and took these garages and made a perfect replica of them right over here. And Otto Anderson's garage would have been the second one down. So that took me by surprise when I walked around and expected to see Otto's garage, and it wasn't there. A little Hollywood magic for you. This is also the neighborhood where we meet Malcolm, who is a student of Otto's late wife, Sonia. This building and all the garages down all line up perfectly. Here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right, moving on. We made it to the Sewickley Cemetery, where I just drove to the top of the Allegheny Mountains. And I can't thank the staff here enough for looking at my screen grabs from the movie with a chuckle and dropping what they were doing to point me in the right direction. There's no way I would have found this spot without them. All right, we're at a filming location that's probably the hardest one I've ever found. We're in a cemetery in Pennsylvania that's over 80 acres. But thanks to the people that work at the cemetery that's on top of a mountain, I should add, I was able to find the exact spot where Otto, played by Tom Hanks, would sit right here with his late wife, whose tombstone was right here. It's incredible that you can still see the indent from where they put the facade of a tombstone right here. You can also see that Ryder tombstone in the background of the shot. Incredible. There's another shot where Otto is placing flowers right here for Sonia. And you can see that tall tombstone in the background there. And these three little ones, how the front one's a little bit crooked to the front. And the rail down there all matches up. Now this is such an iconic part of the movie because you start to sympathize for Otto and why he's such a stickler for the rules and so grumpy and avoids people basically. He comes here and you start learning about what happened to Sonia. He sits and tells her how nothing goes right since she's not here anymore. And over the course of the movie, you learn that she was in a horrible bus crash that paralyzed her. And Otto took care of her for the rest of her life until she died from cancer and was buried right here. And Tom Hanks was sitting right there. Incredible. Now, if you come to the cemetery looking for the filming locations of A Man Called Otto, find this huge monument right in the center of the cemetery and turn around and you'll find these two steps that'll pretty much take you right up to the spot here on the hill. Now for our first flashback scene, we got to come back to my home state of Ohio to Toledo to find a train station. Here we go. We're here at Toledo's Old Union Terminal train station, also known as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza. And this is where one of the iconic flashback scenes happened. Let's go match up some shots. All right, we made it to the Toledo's Old Union Terminal train station in Toledo, Ohio, where they filmed that iconic flashback scene. Now in the flashback, it starts with a young Otto failing his Army physical because he has an enlarged heart, which sends him here to the train station to buy a one-way ticket back to Pittsburgh. But little did he know that this trip to the train station would change his life forever. And fun fact, when I watched the movie, I'm like, man, this young actor sure has a lot of Tom Hanks mannerisms down. Well, there's a reason behind that, because he's Truman Hanks in real life, Tom Hanks' son. Now we're at the exact spot where young Otto comes out to wait for his train, right before he's about to meet Sonia, who comes out of that door right over here. Everything in the shot matches up perfect. You got this, you can see that yellow bar over there across the tracks. You can see this crack right here in the pillar. And the discoloration in the cement you can see in the shot. You can even see this post in the shot. And they added a bench right here with a set dressing. And it happened right here at this old Toledo train station. Let's go find some more spots. Now this is the iconic scene where a young Otto is standing right there and he first sees Sonia for the first time walk out onto the platform. Now everything over here matches up perfectly. There's a man standing in this square right here. You can see these two posts in the shot, a short one and a long one. You can see that metal box in the background with that weird symbol on it. As she continues to walk this way. Now this is the exact spot right here where Sonia drops her book that would bind her and young Otto forever. Everything matches up here too. You can see this blue square in the shot. You can even see the cracks in the cement in the shot. Now here's the exact door that a young Otto come running out of to save Sonia's book, right down here. And everything matches up over here perfectly too. You can see this metal corner in the shot. You can see this metal corner in the shot. These two signs, even though they put a set dressing over the two signs, they're in the perfect spot. And he heads this way to get Sonia's book. Now after a young Otto comes running out these doors, he goes running in this direction down the depot to find Sonia's book that she dropped here. And of course, I had to use my Columbo-like skills to figure out exactly what book she dropped to put in my video. I went frame by frame and figured out it was called The Master and Margarita. So I had to buy the same prop for my filming locations video. I just love the look of this 1950s train station. It just screams 20th century transportation. You could totally understand why they picked this for their movie location. It's trapped in time, right here in Toledo, Ohio. All right, moving on. All right, we're back here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here on the corner of Suesman and Middle Street for another flashback scene. After a young Otto and Sonia establish a connection on their train ride, they set up a first date right here at Max's Tavern. And that's what it's called in the movie. And that's what it is in real life here. This is where they have their first date. And Otto tells Sonia that she's 15 minutes late. And she says, "Oh, am I?" And young Otto only has enough money for one entree as he picks at his appetizer. This is also where they share their first kiss, which is ruined. The whole flashback is ruined when Otto's new neighbor, Marisol, starts pounding on the window saying that she needs a ride because she doesn't know how to drive. And we're heading to that driving lesson next. Now when Otto's giving Marisol her driving lesson, this is the exact street they come down. And this is the corner where he pulls the guy out of the truck for honking his horn. Now this is the exact corner right here where Otto pulls the man out of his truck for honking his horn. And he says, "If you honk that horn one more time, that'll be the last thing you do." And everything over here matches up perfect. Let's go take a look. All these windows line up. This white trim lines up perfect. Two buildings in the background. And even the no truck sign. Is a perfect match here in Ambridge, Pennsylvania. Moving on. Right after the driving lesson, they parallel park right here, and Otto and Marisol pull up here to the Stangl's Bakery. This is where they go and share a Swedish eclair right behind this window right here. Otto would talk about how him and Sonia would come here every Saturday at 1 p.m. And it happened right behind this window. And unfortunately, they're closed on the day I'm here. Or I'd go in and have a Swedish eclair myself. Right here, looking out the same window Otto and Marisol did. Here on Merchant Street. Now pretty much the rest of the movie takes place right here in Otto's neighborhood. Otto and Marisol's family become very good friends, practically family, giving Otto a brand new outlook on his life, a purpose. Otto helps out with all the kids and with all the chores. He's at all the parties and celebrations. Life hasn't been this good for Otto in a long time. Until unfortunately one day they look out the window and, heavy spoiler alert, Otto didn't come out and shovel his sidewalk, which he would always do every morning like clockwork. We learned that Otto has passed away and pretty much leaves everything he owns to his new neighbors. And that all happened right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go see if we can find the church where they had Otto's funeral. We're here on the corner of 4th Street and Delaware Avenue here in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. And heavy spoiler alert, but this is the church where they have Otto's funeral. from the movie A Man Called Otto. And the camera's kind of set up right here. We made it to our final filming location of A Man Called Otto. This is where everybody files out from the church after Otto's funeral, says a bunch of nice things about him. Everything lines up perfectly. You can see that building over there in the shot with the red door. All the windows line up. But in the movie, the top half of that building was blue, so I don't know if they've repainted it or maybe a little movie magic. Here, Otto's reading the letter of everything he wants to leave behind. You see Marisol and Tommy walk down this sidewalk. And you learn from the letter that Otto wants to leave him the brand new Chevy truck he just bought. You can totally see this house and this house in the background. And he says, for God's sake, Marisol, don't let Tommy drive the Chevy. And that happened right here for A Man Called Otto. I didn't plan this, but I love how this empty chair symbolizes that Otto passes on at the end of the movie. He came here during the entire movie to visit Sonia right here, and then at the end of the movie his name is on the headstone also, which was right here. I just can't believe the indent is still in the ground from where the tombstone was. I'm a nerd, so I find that stuff pretty fascinating. Now this isn't a famous grave, but I still want to leave a few mementos. I want to leave my U2 magnet where Sonia and Otto's grave once stood in the movie. And I also want to leave this 1964 quarter, just exactly like the one Sonia gave Otto on the train, and he kept it for the rest of his life. 90% silver, so that's got to be worth at least like $5. All right, that's gonna do it from here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And until we meet again, I just want to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.